Hello everybody and welcome to another video. In this video we're going to be looking at the new Age of Sigmar balance update. Yes, that's right, Age of Sigmar has got a balance update. Games Workshop are still supporting this game. I know, shock horror. Let's jump in and have a look. So yeah, Games Workshop just dropped the big balance update for AOS. There are some pretty spicy changes, not only to the core mechanics, but actually some to some of the armies. So let's have a little look at those in general. So let's have a little look at it here. So here it is. We have the battle profile and rules update battle scroll summary. I already like the format of how it's rolled out. It is quite nice. Now, obviously you can go into your factions and actually look at all of the changes yourself, but we actually get a little bit of a summary here. So as you can see, we have Stormcast Eternals add the Ruination Chamber keyword to Ionis Cryptborn, because the Ruination Chamber is that new thing for the Stormcast Eternals, and Ionis is the new big character, kind of, sort of, on a really cool looking dragon. So you people want to put him in their army, perfect, great. Some one big changes for Cities of Sigmar. A lot of these I actually really like. The Fusilier Major or Ogre Warhulk, basically the big ogre with the dude on in the little turret. Mark target ability now gives +1 to hit for all attacks, not just shooting. That is really, really good. Basically how that works is he just has to target and shoot a unit, and then everybody then gets +1 to hit on that unit. That's really, really nice. Can really time that into a really good unit of Cavaliers coming in and charging, getting +1 to hit. Means that they're now going to be hitting on 3s rather than 4s. Kind of makes them a little bit better. They should already be hitting on 3s, wounded on 3s. Absolute travesty that they changed that, but it is what it is. Hopefully the battle tome will fix that. Talia's lead from the front ability is now being reworked. It now gives +1 to wound. Amazing. And a 5-up ward save instead of the previous effect. I kind of like that. That's kind of cool. I get that. She needs to be buffed a lot more because she isn't really that good, especially for your War Master type model in the army. Caradon Overlords Sky Vessel cover now gives -1 to hit for all attacks, not just from shooting attacks. Cool, a nice little buff there, defensive for the Overlords. Seraphon Lord Croak now has +1 to unbind, and his Celestial Deliverance has been reworked to increase range and make the damage more reliable. So they're trying to make Lord Croak a little bit more usable because you don't really need him. A Slan Starmaster is just as potent and a lot less points than Croak. But yeah, that's a little bit better. And the Ripdactyls Riders and Raiders now have a 2-inch coherency range. Meh. Okay, on to Chaos. Skaven, Lord Screech, Verminkin now is a Wizard 2. Nice. Increase the range of the Plague Furnace and the Screaming Bill abilities to 13 inches instead of 6. Hey, narrative, thematic, thumbs up on that one. Blades of Corn, because they really need this. Blood Tithe abilities now work once per phase instead of once per turn. Yay, that's so good. A massive buff for Khorne. Heathen Knights of Slaanesh. Epiphoric Killers now affects companion weapons. That's really kind of nice because that's going to then start affecting the mounts. So like Steeds of Slaanesh and stuff like that, as well as the chariots are actually now going to be affected as well. So that's a bit of a buff to them, which is pretty good. Fleshy Abundance now lets you pick either, instead of abilities, pick either effect instead of always having to heal if the unit is damaged. Okay, that's cool. That's good. So that's a nice change. And I'm sure my friend Pete, who plays a lot of Nurgle, will comment on that if he agrees or he disagrees. Plague Drones and Puskull Blightlords now have a 2-inch coherency range. Yeah, cool. That's again nice quality of life change. Death Summary, Ninetaunt changed Discorporate to any hero phase instead of a reaction. Cool. Nighthaunt are still busted. Flesh Eater Courts added address loyal subjects' ability to make it easier to generate noble deed points. Good. Grant Justice Gormans now generates double noble deed points when using the Delusion of Justice service ability. That's good. So that's a nice little buff that for Flesh Eater Courts. That was pretty good. So Osiat Bone Reapers changed the Harvester's Bone Harvest ability to make it a bit easier to gain Bone Tithe points. Again, some interesting changes. And in Destruction, Gloomspike Gits, which are going to get a massive buff with those new Wolf Rider Git mob coming in. It's going to be really quite nice when they hit the table. The Loon Boss on a Mangle Squig Bite the Moon ability now gives +1 to hit instead of +1 to wound. Okay, cool. Ogre More Tribes monsters can now add 2 to the Trample Charge rules, and then lowered the chanting value of 2 prayers from the Everwinter players. That's kind of cool. And then Sons of Behemoth, Gargant Charge now always inflicts D3 mortal wounds and is no longer a rampage. Ooh, so they always do that. So they they charge, they're always going to trigger that. That's pretty good. I like that. Beast, Smasher, Mega Gargants get +1 attack with their clubs and +2 attacks on Almighty Stomps and Almighty Stomp weapons. That's pretty sweet. So some pretty big changes there for some armies. Now, obviously nothing for the Iron Jaws because they're due to come out very soon. Now, there are some changes to how the mechanics for the game is going to work. And we're just going to have a look at this top part here. So, there is now a new rule called Seizing the Initiative. And I know some old school 40k players will now get excited by that, thinking they're going to need to roll a 6. It's not that. So, if the player who went second in the previous battle round wins the priority roll and chooses to go first, their opponent is the underdog until their opponent does the same. Okay. If a player is behind by 6 or more victory points, they do not suffer any penalties from taking 2 turns in a row. Their opponent is not the underdog for the rest of the battle, and they can use the Tactical Gambit ability to pick a battle tactic. So basically, it's still the same, essentially, but what they've added now is if you are 6 points behind or more, so you're getting absolutely smashed, and you get the opportunity of getting a double turn, right, and you're the underdog because you've got less points, you now get to do the double turn without any penalty. Not overly too sure how I feel about this. Personally, I just think they should have just left the double turn the way it was. I don't think they needed to change anything about the double turn. I understand why they wanted to change the double turn. It is a divisive rule for Age of Sigmar. There are many people who don't play Age of Sigmar are not fans of the double turn. If you ask any non-Age of Sigmar player, why do you not play it? One of the things that they will often come out with, and probably one of the most things that they will come out with, is the fact of the double turn. Not many people like it. It's a very Marmite mechanic. You either like it or you don't. This is... I think this is going to benefit the more skilled players. I don't think it's really going to help you if you're 6 or more points down of being able to get you back. Yeah, okay, it is allowing you to pick a gambit and get a battle tactic, and it's I kind of feel like it's kind of like people are getting smashed too easy, and they're needing to help the players that are getting beat and trying to get them in the game. Personally, I would just revert double turn back to what it was like in 3rd edition. You get a double turn, you get a double turn. That's it. Who cares? You know, this whole, you can dictate points and stuff. Like, if you take the double turn, you don't get to do a battle tactic because you've got the, you know, it's just put it back to the way it was. Like, stop pissing about with it. Either remove it from the game or just revert it to back how it was in 3rd edition. That's my 2 cents on the double turn. So we had another thing update. So the Honor Guard system had tweaks. So each player can use one of the following Honor Guard abilities in each battle, when using this ability, they must pick a unit in their general's regiment to be the honor guard. Right, cool. So there's now updated versions of these abilities that you pick in the deployment phase. Okay, so you've now got the new regimented forces. So if a player has more regiments than their opponent, they can use a second different honor guard ability, but they must pick a unit that is different. Pick a unit that is in a different regiment that is not led by the general to be the honor guard ability. You cannot pick units in a regiment of renown to be an honor guard. Again, this is a mechanic that they've brought in because one-drop armies still exist. Now, again, Age of Sigmar had a perfectly good force organization chart that didn't need to be changed. In the earlier editions, we had War Scroll battalions that you kind of had formations and they give you little funky rules. They kind of phased them out, and then we get like a normal standard force organization chart, and it kind of worked quite nicely. Now we get these regiments, these little regiments, kind of like War Scroll battalions again, and they kind of give you abilities, but it's kind of like to dictate your drops. And yeah, right. Let's have a little look and see exactly what these things are. So we've got 3 have been updated, and then we have 2 are brand new. So the updated one is special assignment. So you pick a friendly unit, but not leading a regiment to be that regiment's honor guard. You pick a unit in reserve. Pick one of the following weapon abilities: anti-infantry, anti-cavalry. In any turn in which that honor guard charge, this unit's melee weapons have the weapon ability that you picked. So yeah, so basically this is the one that most people picked. So basically, you pick a friendly unit in, but not leading a regiment to be your regiment. So you can't pick your general, or your leader. So basically, what people were doing is, or I was doing in my Seraphon army, is I was picking a unit of my Agaron Lancers, and I was basically giving them the keyword that they didn't have. So like +1 on infantry, because they already had like a cavalry buff. Or if I was coming up against a fighting monstery army, I would put +1 rend on monsters or beast or something in the game to sort of dictate what I needed, to sort of fill that slot for that nice big buff unit. And then basically when they charge that unit, I basically got to anyone in the enemy's regiment, I got to do stuff. So the other one is the bodyguard. So pick a friendly unit, but not leading a regiment that regiment's honor guard. You can pick a unit in reserve. Subtract 1 from the attack characteristics of enemy melee units while they're in combat with that leading that regiment. If both of the following are true: the regiment's honor guard is wholly within 6 inches of the leader of the regiment. Neither of that regiment's honor guard nor the regiment's leader charge this turn. So basically, you're on the receiving end. They're -1 to hit. Okay, that's kind of cool. And then the next one is priority target. Pick a friendly unit in, but not leading. So again, you can't pick the leader. A regiment to be that regiment's honor guard. You can pick a unit in reserve. Add 1 to the hit rolls and wound rolls for attacks made by the honor guard unit. So this is the one that you would normally do, and you're attacking at the enemy honor guard. Basically, that's the one that you would normally do. Yeah, so they're still there, but now we have 2 new ones. So pick a friendly non-flying infantry hero in, but not leading a regiment to be that regiment's honor guard. And you can pick a unit in reserve. Add 2 to the movement characteristics of friendly non-flying infantry units while they're wholly within 12 inches of the honor guard. So obviously these ones are designed to be the units that you're going to pick as your second unit. Okay, so you kind of get +2 to your movement. Okay, not fine. +2 movement's good. Pick a friendly non-unique monster. Not every army has non-unique monsters, but not leading a regiment to be that regiment's honor guard. that unit ignores the effects of the battle damage ability in addition to 1. So straight away, non-unique monsters. So Lumineth Realm Lords are going to benefit from this. Your unnamed foxes, I believe, are monsters. Your cows are going to be able to benefit from this. Seraphon are going to be able to benefit from this because all of their monsters are unnamed. So you're going to be able to benefit from that. Apart from Croak, I believe he's a monster. Slaves to Darkness, any of your big Vortex Beasts, Slaughter Brutes, stuff like that, if you bring them, are going to be able to sort of jump into them. Your unnamed, I believe Bloodthirsters are named. I believe. No, Scarbrand is. Scarbrand's named, so the unnamed ones, so your Bloodthirsters, your other demons, greater demons that are all unnamed, are going to be able to benefit from this. So it's kind of good. This ability also affects companion weapons. So if they're mounted or they're like a big monster that's a mount, so likes of the big Carnosaur for the Seraphon being led by with an old blood or a veteran on it, it's going to be able to get all of that as well. So yeah, okay. Again, I don't necessarily think this is needed, and this is the General's Handbook stuff. So come the next season, all this is going to disappear. Right, so that's the one big thing to remember about that. Okay, then we have the Spearhead stuff. I don't play Spearhead, no real interest in it. Looks brick crap, not going to bother. So then we've got the points. So there are quite a few points changes across the board. Cities of Sigmar have had a lot, and it's not kind of the things that you would expect. So the Cavalier Marshal and the Marshal on foot have also been gone down. Pontifex is gone down by 40 points, but she's still not great, so you're not going to bring her. A lot of the dwarfs have been dropped down in points, but we all know that they're going to be disappearing from the book in the very near future, so no one's really taking them. And again, like the Dark Elves have kind of gone up a little bit. Hammerers have gone up. Cavaliers and the Free Guild Command Corps have gone down. Command Corps is useless now. They're not great. It's not a good war scroll compared to what it was like in the last edition. Fusiliers are still 120 points, which is interesting to see. Steel Helms have gone down by 10 points. So yeah. And then obviously, you know, the vast majority of the Dwarf stuff and the Empire stuff that's left have gone down in points. I'm still not convinced that the Steam Tank is going to be staying in the Battle Tome come the new one, or the Griffin. In fact, any of the Empire stuff, to be fair, or any of the Dwarf stuff. So Cities of Sigmar, very interesting to see how they pan out in the future. Daughters of Cain, yep, lots of points changes across the board there, and I'm sure that the Daughters of Cain players will be happy about that. Fire Slayers, huge amounts of points changes there, absolutely huge amounts. Like that is crazy. So Ulrich Flamekeeper, Runefather on Magma Droth. Ulrich Runes Master. The Runesmith didn't, but the Runesmith on Magmaroth did. Runesun and the Mounted Runesun did. Grimwrath Berserkers, even though Grimwrath Berserkers are nuts, they've still gone down by 10 points. Then Hearthguard Berserkers with pole arms. Volkite, all flavours of Volkite, and then the Flame Seekers have all gone down by 10 points. Yeah. Again, this army doesn't need points changes, it needs more units. Idoneth Keepkin, the Alric King has gone down by 2 points. The Soul Render and the Soul Scryer both went down. And Thralls went down by 10 points. Now 100 points for 10. I personally would put them down to about 80 or 90 points for 10. I still think they're overcosted for what they do because they essentially die to a stiff breeze. Caradon Overlords, Admirals, Cogsmith, the named character, Engine Rigger, all down by points. And the Gunstalk Hauler down by 20 points. And Skywarden's down by 10 points. Yeah, interesting. Lumineth Realm Lords, more points changes for the Lumineth. Stone Mages have gone down by 30 points. Teclis has gone up by 10 points. Okay. The Wind Mage has gone up 10 points. The named character for your Metrica has gone down by 20. The Law Seeker has gone down by 10. Light of Eltharion has gone down by 20 points. He's still a beatstick. Both the Stone Guard and the Spirit Mountains down by 10 points, and the Wind Chargers down, but the Sentinels have gone up, and the Aurelian Wardens have gone up, which is interesting. I don't see Wardens as being as spicy as they used to be, or Sentinels for that matter, and the Venari Blade Lords have gone up. That have gone down by 10 points. Right. I have been on the receiving end of those Blade Lords. They're nuts. Now, one thing I can't understand is why the River Dance is still 160 points for 10 models when that unit is absolutely busted. That unit should be at least 180 to 200 points for what they can do. They are absolutely bonkers. But yeah. Seraphon, one of my favourite factions. The Bearer has gone down by 20 points, still not used. The Saurus Old One on a Carnosaur down by 40. Again, the Skink Starseer, I believe the Skink Starseer is the one in the chair, and he's the one that can turn off ward saves. He's gone up 10 points. The big monsters have all gone down by 30 points. The Hunters of Henchai have gone up by 10 points. Croxagors have gone down by 10 points. But then the warp spawned ones are pretty decent. So you got an anti-infantry unit and an anti-monster, basically. Saurus Warriors, Skinks, and the Spawn have all gone down points. And the Terragon Raiders have gone down. I am shocked that Aggregron Lancers have not gone up in points. But 220 points for 3 of them is still pretty solid. Stormcast Eternals have quite a few changes. Knight Azir, Knight Dracos. So if you want to bring your dragon army, your dragon heroes now gone down by 10 points. Knight Questorus, Knight Valexus, Lord Equala, all down points. And then the Lord Imperatant, Lord Veritant, the Lord Vigilant on the Morris Griff. I believe that's the new one. And Iridan the Witness is all gone down by 40 points. And then Vandis Hammerhand and Yndraster and Taurus the Redeemed have all gone down by points. I believe that they're the new characters and that come with the new battle tool. Big block of green there for Annihilators went down by 10 points. Again, if you're going to bring big heavy infantry for the Stormcast Eternals, you're going to bring Annihilators with those Grand Hammers because they're just way better. Yeah, having a 2-up save is good, but being able to absolutely decimate a unit is way, way better. Cascade has gone down. Draconian, the Drathorian Guard, all of them have gone down by points. And then Griffhounds have gone up by 10. Poo Griffhounds. We're still not finished. Liberators have gone down by 10. Soul Swans have gone down by 10. Retributioners have gone down by 10. Dragons and single dragons have gone down by 10. And then Paladors have gone up. And Paladors, so they're the new unit. They got a new war scroll in the new book with the new models. Beautiful models. And they've gone up by points. And Vanguard Raptors have gone up by 20 points as well. Interesting. So Sylvaneth, all the trees, down by points. Dryads have gone down by points, but if the rumours are true, there's a new unit of Dryads coming. Arch Revenant, Dryker, Durthu didn't. Lady of Veins, Tree Lords, and Tree Lord Ancients all went down by points. And then the Beasts of Chaos, we'll just skip past that because no one cares because they're a legend and they're going to be disappearing soon in next 6 months. So, Aspiring Deathbringer, the Blood Secretor, Karnak, the Mighty Lord of Khorne, Scarbrand, Skullmaster, Skulltaker, all down points, which is pretty decent. And then Blood Crushers down by points, and Skull Crushers down by points, Kargaroth down by points, and Wrathmongers down by points. Disciples of Tzinch, lots of red there, so bad times for Disciple players. Yeah, not many. There's more red than there is green, I think. Okay, bit of a shame. Heathen Knights of Slesh, more points changes. Keeper of Secrets is down. Lord of Hubris, Lord of Pain is also down. The Mask is down. Demonettes are down. Painbringers, Seeker Chariots, and Blood Fiends, or Fiend Bloods, are all down. And then Maggot Kid and Nurgle, Harbinger of Tear, beautiful model, down. Lord of Blights, Lord of Plagues, both down. Rotigus is down by 20 points, and the Glotkin is down by 20, and Beast and Nurgle is down by 10. Nice. Some nice changes there for Nurgle. I always have a soft spot for Nurgle. Lots of things down for Skaven. Lots of things down for Skaven. There is basically lots of things. Claw Lords on the Beast, the Death Masks, a lot of the Vermin Lord Corruptor, the Vermin Lord Warbringer, the Prophet of the Horned Rat, the big new one, is down by 50 points. The Warlock Bombardier, the Warlock Engineer, Globadiers, Blood Terrors, Doom Wheels, Hellbomb Abomination, Plague Claws, all down in points. The only thing that's gone up is Rattling Guns. Shock Horror Rattling Guns went up in points by 20 because they are pretty busted. Yeah. And then we have Slayers of Darkness, the newest book. Obviously, Archeon is still like nearly 900 points. The Lord on the Demonic Mount went down in points. The Dark Wolf Chieftain and the Dark Wolf Chieftain on the War Steed went down points. The Exalted Hero went up in 10 points. Gaunt Summoners and the Gunnerbrand all went down points. And Furies went up 10 points. And then the Marauders and the... and then basically your basic Dark Oath units basically all went down in points. And then Raptorix and Varangard went up 10 points. Shock. Wow. Okay. Would never expected to see that. Flesh Eater Court, absolute green across the board. Look at that. That is mental. Green across the board. Aberrants, like all of their units have literally just dropped massive amounts of points. And they've had some pretty decent changes as well in regards to getting their little deeds. Nighthaunts, good to see. Lots of red. They definitely need that. So a lot of the things have been given a slapped with a nice big red, which is good. It's always nice to see because, you know, they definitely need that. Osiat Bone Reapers, Catacross has gone up. Nagash has gone up to 900 points. Death Riders has gone up. And the Cohort has gone up. Soulblight Gravelords, a lot of green. A lot of green there. Nothing for... It's weird. This is weird. So Nagash is more expensive in an Osiat Bone Reapers army than he is in a Soulblight Gravelord army. That's kind of... that's very weird. Okay. Radikar the Beast, Radikar the Wolf, all gone down. Then you've got the, you know, the Terrorgeists, Varageists, Zombie Dragons. Blood Knights haven't been touched, or the Black Knights. So, yeah. Bone Splitters, again, no one really cares about Bone Splitters because I don't think anyone actually plays them. Gloomspike gets nice couple of changes there. The Dankhold Troggoth boss. Troggoth boss has gone up 10 points. The Squig boss has gone up. And the Squig Herd have gone up. But a lot of the stuff, Spider Riders, a lot of the things I'm fully expecting to disappear from the book is the Spider element. Because that is all in the old world now. So I'm expecting the Spider element to disappear in the new book. And then all the Git Mob stuff to sort of essentially replace that. So yeah, the Forestry Spiders and all that will probably go to the old world. Should do a separate video on that. Iron Jaws, I will be completely honest, I have an Iron Jaws model sat literally just next to me, an odd boss, because I am thinking about building an Age of Sigmar army again, and maybe playing again, because I do kind of miss it, and I'll probably go for the Iron Jaws because they were one of my big first loves, and an army I did very well competitively with, and yes, for any of my friends that are watching, I should have warred. So Ard Boy's big boss, the model I have, has gone down by 10 points. Gordrak has gone down by 50, and nice. Mega Boss on foot, down by 20. Mega Boss on Maw Crusher, down by 40. Tuskar boss is gone down by 20. Now it's kind of interesting that the Ard boss has gone down by 10. The Mega boss on foot down by 20. He is what's going to be the main hero in that Spearhead box, which is kind of cool. The More Grunter and the More Grunter Gorges, they've all gone down by points. Now, Gore Grunters haven't. Brutes, Brute Ragers, Ard Boys, and the Wreckers are all pretty much staying the same. 200 points for 5 Brutes. Maybe on a tad on the more expensive side. I would probably like to see them maybe go down to 180 and Ard Boys drop down to about 160. And I think then you'll get the nice sweet spot. But that's me because I'm just being biased. Cool Boys, yep, a couple of good changes across there. The big mouth of Mork has gone down, and he's kind of a cool looking model. And then Ogres, they've got some changes as well. Nobblers down by 10. The Gorge and Morpack has gone down by 20. Now, as far as I'm aware, the Gorges are pretty good. So it's interesting to see that they've gone down. Gluttons are down by 10 points. Now, this would be the time to add points to the Butchers and to the Slaughter Priests, and they haven't been touched. In fact, they've actually reduced the Gluttons. So the Glutton army with the Butchers, basically making them be able to run and charge, is still a thing. So yeah, an even more effective army, considering that the actual Gluttons are actually gone down points, which is interesting, to say the least. Sons of Bearbet, basically your little Gargants have gone down in points. And then you got the regiments around, which we're not really interested in. But all in all, it's not a bad change. Like I said, the changes to the double turn I'm not massively interested in. Personally, double turn doesn't really bother me. I would say just revert it back to what it was like in 3rd edition and just remove the stupidness of it. The all honor guard thing, again, this is all tied into the current General's Handbook. So as soon as this General Handbook changes, that's going to be out the window, so we're not going to have to worry about it. And there's basically going to be, what, another 6 months at the most left on that General's Handbook, because it was only meant to be around for a year, and it come out at launch in January, July time, June. So it's only been out for, what, 6 months? So we've got another 6 months left of it, and then it's gone. Yeah, I think Age of Sigmar in 4th edition is a decent system. I enjoy it. I kind of only really stopped playing it because I was wanting to get more into 40k, and I was playing a lot more 40k, and I wasn't really playing as much Age of Sigmar. Like I said, the last game I played would have been at the GT back in August, and that was the reason why I kind of stopped playing, because I was playing more 40k. And plus, like, the old world is getting me really excited. I finally got hold of some Bretonian models that that I've been after. I've got a nice unit of Questorus Knights there to paint up. Go China. And yeah, so it's kind of cool. So I'm going to be doing a lot more of that. But yeah, I will be looking at getting back into Age of Sigmar probably some point next year, especially with the Iron Jaws coming out. And I'll be getting the book, and I'll get the book, and I'll do a couple of videos on the book. But yeah, but all in all, there's some interesting changes. I don't think it's going to be massively as impactful as what the 40k changes were, like especially things like Space Marines, Armor and Contempt, and stuff like that. There's a couple of tweaks. I think the more savvy player who really understands the nuances of the game will benefit these changes more than your normal player, and the vast majority of casual players probably aren't really playing the General's Handbook anyway, so we'll just see how that goes. But all in all, it's some interesting changes, and that's it. But that's the video. If you are liking what I'm doing, please like, subscribe, share, and all of that good stuff. And check out my members on Patreon if you want to follow me. Almost the end of the year. 2024 is almost finished. Going to be doing a yearly roundup video next week, just before Christmas or just after Christmas. So keep an eye out on that. Closing in on 2,700 subscribers. So if you haven't yet helped, smash that button, and then we can help get there. Right, that's it. Catch you later, peeps. Goodbye for now.